Good evening and welcome to Live United. My name's Nikki Sauber. Live United is a show produced by Monadnock United Way in which we interview guests from local agencies and programs that are making a difference in the Monadnock region. I'm so pleased to have Laura Siebert, an employment and outreach specialist from the River Center, here on our program tonight. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here. So you're from the River Center, which is a family and community resource center. Tell me a little bit more about the agency.
So we're located in Peterborough, and we serve the 13 towns of the eastern Monadnock region. We offer a number of services and programs to the community. Our mission really is just to strengthen the community and individuals within the area that we serve. Having said that, we never turn anybody away. So sometimes we might have strays from Milford or Keene come our way, and they're always welcome. So we provide, let's see if I can run down very quickly the types of things that we provide for the community. Right off the top of my head, we have a community wood bank run by volunteers, supported by donations. So anyone that's going through the Southern New Hampshire Fuel Assistance Program and they qualify for assistance with their electrical, if they heat by wood, they can also get a cord of wood or some wood from us. We also run a number of parenting family support programs. We have parenting groups, workshops, information nights, safe sitter for kids. We are running an Adventure Girl program that is phenomenal for preteens right now, where they get out and talk to women that are doing non-traditional types of work out there in the business world, and they go on field trips. And I think they were up at they were in Massachusetts at Mill number 5 last weekend. Let's see, what else? So then we also have a home visiting program for new and soon-to-be moms, where we have a home visitor go right into the home and provide support for moms and children, and that support can be anything from lactation support to you need a high chair, let's get you a high chair. You need resources, let's get you some resources. And then we have my program, which is the Employment Resource Program. And that program serves, let's see, last year in 2016, I had 109 people walk through my doors, and that was about 235 times, so lots of repeat customers. Yeah. And basically the mission of that program is to provide job search support and readiness skills for job seekers or people who are looking to change careers.
Wow, so the River Center seems like it's serving all sorts of folks across the gamut, from young parents and families to grown adults looking for employment resource support, and everything in between.
And that's so true, and it's a joy. That's a joy to be able to work with that diversity. Even in my program, we have, and across the programs, we have people from all walks of life. So I've had people come in that are longtime career people who are looking to change their careers after 25 years and just feeling a little overwhelmed with the process. And I have new moms that are looking to come out and start working after many years of raising children. Or I'll have a young man that perhaps is really struggling because he's done construction his whole life and he's been injured on the job and he doesn't know what to do or how to get back into the workforce. So it really can run the spectrum of people that we serve.
And it's so great that the River Center has these programs that meet people where they're at, serving people regardless of their circumstance, and especially in those times of need when perhaps they wouldn't expect that they would ever be in that situation.
Absolutely.
So it's wonderful that those programs exist. So you told me before the show started you've been working with the River Center for about 3 years. How'd you get involved with the organization?
Well, I knew of the organization because I live in Peterborough, and I was looking to shift careers. I come from an HR, human resources background, and I was looking to do something that was local and more mission-based, and saw an opening at the River Center and came in and was so pleased when they invited me to be a part of their team. So I took on the Employment Resource Center role about 2.5 years ago, approximately, and it's just been great. I offer one-on-one consultation 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, between 9:30 and 2:30. And having said that, I can be flexible on the other days that the center is open, Mondays and Thursdays as well. And one-to-one consultation can really look, like you said, it meets the person where they are. You know, I sort of do a quick assessment on what their needs are, and we get running, and often that might be helping them with their resume. It's always a good point of initial conversation because we can kind of run through the history of what they've done and what their strengths are, what their accomplishments are. And so that might be teaching them how to do the resume themselves, or if they have no computer skills, which often that's the case, I might be doing it for them and then sending it to them so that they can use that in their job search. Most job searches require a resume now, so and it's a skill. It's a skill to know how to create a strong resume.
Absolutely, absolutely. And do you customize the goal of the goal of the work for each client that comes in?
Absolutely. So like I said, we do an initial assessment, just a conversation. Sometimes people come in and they just need to spend one session just getting things off their chest. A lot of times people come in and they're feeling hopeless and they're feeling they're lacking confidence, and they just need someone to talk to for a little bit. And because our services are free for the time being, we would like to have that continue. It knocks down that barrier of there's a cost associated with it. We're local, we're present in the community, we're accessible, and we are welcoming. So when somebody comes in, my goal is to get them as comfortable as possible so that they can move past whatever they need to move past so that they can get to work.
So you're an employment specialist, you're an outreach specialist, and also it seems like a part-time therapist.
A little bit, but that's okay. A little bit. If it gets too far over in that category, then I tend to gear back, because I know my limitations. I'm not a therapist. It's HR is a little bit of both. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So, and then we move from resume building to interview skills and a lot of support for folks that just don't know how to use a computer. And as we well know, so much of the job search process and application process is online now. And that becomes quite a big barrier for very viable candidates. And unfortunately, I think it's a barrier that's hurting our economy and our employers who are struggling to find good candidates. Sure. And maybe there's this really fantastic candidate that doesn't have the computer skills but would be perfect for the type of work you're looking for. And they just sort of throw in the towel because it's so frustrating. So they'll come in and we'll work one-to-one or in a small group. And I also offer training sessions and go out to libraries in the communities and try and be present so that if somebody's using a library computer, I'm there to kind of offer support if that's needed.
That's wonderful. So further skill development, even just in computer usage, which is such a valuable skill, as you just shared. What's your favorite part about your job?
I think meeting the people, meeting and I think I might have mentioned this before we started rolling live here. The diversity in the people that come through the doors, and feeling like I'm making an impact. That's great. Don't we all want to feel that way, like we're making an impact on each other's lives?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you must have some stories to share about success stories or really powerful experiences that you've had through your job. Would you mind sharing one or a couple of those?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I always love hearing how things turn out for people. And I do touch base with people afterwards, but sometimes I never hear anything, especially if there's been success. They're moving on with their life. But I got a nice email just yesterday from somebody that I had provided service to, probably about 4 months ago. And they're gainfully employed, and we're very grateful for the support that the center offered while they were really struggling during that time. So that was nice. But a particular story this year that comes to mind is I had a young girl come in who just graduated high school, was really sort of floundering. Mom called and said, could you meet with my daughter? And so I met with the daughter, and she really just didn't have much direction. She had been struggling just to get through high school and some personal stuff, and had graduated but really just didn't have direction. And so we started talking about what kinds of things she's good at, what does she like to do, where would she like to go, and through that dialogue I learned a little bit more about her, and we put together a resume because she didn't have one, and she needed a little bit of guidance in the job search. She needed somebody to sort of hold her to the process and the timeline. And so we would set little mini goals for her, and then I would meet with her a week or 2 weeks later, and we'd talk about how did it go, what would you do different, so on, and set the next goal. And so we probably did that 6 times, and she did end up getting a part-time job. Not her dream job, but a part-time job. So some months go by, and then I get a call from the mom, and the mom says, can I come in? I've decided I'd like to start work again after, now that my daughter's kind of launched a little bit, I feel like I can do that. So she came in, and we did the process with her, and then she stopped me and said, I just have to tell you how grateful my husband and I are to her time at the River Center. And she said, because of those conversations, she's decided to go to school. Wow. And she was accepted not to one, but all 3 of the schools that she applied to, and is now pursuing truly what she wants to do in life. And the parents just felt absolutely thrilled that that was the direction that she took with some, just, and it's just about working through things with somebody that's neutral.
Yeah,
and
fantastic.
So that was really, that's been a nice success story, I think.
I think it's really powerful that an employment resource center is not necessarily just about employment, but it's about finding direction and about providing that support network to really make people feel like they have the tools and the skills and the confidence to move forward, to take on life's challenges, whatever those might be. So whether it's getting a job or going to school or just finding a new path to follow, it's really nice that the River Center is there to support those goals.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And I think it makes a big impact in the community and in the economy.
Sure.
So, yeah. And one thing that I didn't mention earlier that we do across the board and is really significant is during that assessment, anyone that comes through the door, we're sort of taking a general baseline on their needs, and often people come in and they come in with a specific desire or need or agenda, and what they find is that they actually have a broader need, and they don't know how to take advantage of the resources, or they don't know the resources that are out in the community. So much of what we do is connecting people with other resources, collaborating. I get referrals from Monadnock Area Transitional Shelter and from MFS, our neighbors across the way, or MAPS Counseling, or Southern New Hampshire Services, but I also refer people back to them. So if somebody's struggling and they're vulnerable to losing their housing, they're going to be talking to Susan Howard at Monadnock Area Transitional Shelter. So it really, the River Center often acts as an agent or a liaison between all these other service organizations.
That coordinated system of care, in a way, is so important, especially for people in need who, like you said, might not be aware of the resources out there. The fact that there are organizations that are connecting those dots and helping to bring awareness to this connected and coordinated system, and really supporting that. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Are there any volunteer opportunities at the Employment Resource Center, ways that people in the community might be able to get involved or otherwise support your work?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. We have a volunteer coordinator. She's fantastic. She's a volunteer. And she was on our board for a while and looked for another avenue to continue to be a part of the organization. So she is now the acting volunteer coordinator.
Right.
And there is a link on our website, rivercenter.us, and look for volunteer. And you can click that page, and there's a whole page on types of things. But we have so many ways to give that if people want to get involved, anything from answering phones to stuffing mail, which doesn't sound very exciting but needed to be done. But then also if you have a particular skill set. So I would love to have some guest speakers come in, and if they have a business background, or they have an HR background, or they, that would like to come in and maybe as part of my program, that would be fantastic.
Like skills training workshops, that
Sure.
sort of thing. Yeah, certainly maybe a resume building workshop.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the more opportunity to connect with the community, the better. Yes.
Are there any other pieces of your work that really tickle you in a way that really bring a lot of reward or a satisfaction in your job? I mean, aside from seeing how things, aside from helping people and seeing how things go, are there other compelling pieces that you'd like to share?
Definitely just the interaction that I have on a daily basis with people, all walks of life. And I think working with a team, I mentioned this again to you prior to, we had a big conversation before the cameras started rolling, but I think working with this team at the River Center is really special. It's a group of very passionate people who give a lot to their job, take it very, very seriously, and in turn give a lot to the community. And I hope that your viewers can catch some of the next interviews with my colleagues, but that's incredibly fulfilling to work with that team.
Yeah, and the work environment makes all the difference. And from the United Way perspective, of course, when we give out money to partner agencies like the River Center, like your program in particular, we evaluate, how far is this money going and where is it going to? And the allocators, the volunteer allocators who assess programs on behalf of United Way are always very impressed by the River Center and how far they can really make that dollar go. You accomplish miracles on a shoestring, and I commend you for that.
And that takes a lot of community support.
Absolutely.
Really it does. We have great volunteers, we have great donors. We just came off of an incredible fundraiser, our Spelling Bee, annual Spelling Bee. It was our 12th annual Spelling Bee. Also our final, we're moving on to more mission-based fundraising activities, but boy, it was a great run and a very successful fundraiser. We raised $21,000 for the organization, and we don't get state and federal funding. We are supported by the United Way, as well as individual donations, community business support. So it's a collaborative effort to make it as special and as effective as it is.
And congratulations on your recent fundraiser.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I heard that turnout was great and lots of activity and costumes and fun. And
yes, Live United was there.
yes,
right?
yeah.
And I also, we're very proud. We're on a high note right now because we were nominated and granted the award of Nonprofit of the Year through the Greater Peterborough Chamber of Commerce. And that's very special to hold that title for a year, and in such great company with other organizations that are doing wonderful things as well.
Well, it surely speaks to the impact of your work. Very well-deserved award.
Thank you, yes.
Great. So, Laura, anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
No, but we welcome people to drop in anytime. We are at 9 Vos Farm Road, Suite 115, across from Monadnock Family Services. That's over, if you've never heard of Vos Farm Road, it's over by EMS and across from Conval High School. And drop-ins anytime and find a smiling face and somebody to chat with you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being here, Laura. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, and it was my pleasure.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, folks, thanks for joining us tonight on the Live United program. I want to remind you all to give, to advocate, to volunteer. Live United. Have a good night.